What's going on, guys? Glock Guy 226 here, and tonight we are back for a check-in with our Agency Arms barrels. Kind of want to talk a little bit about them. Are they for you, and are they an absolute necessary upgrade for your guns? So stick around to find that out, guys. Now, before we get too into this, let's go ahead and safety check the Glock 19 as always, and as you can see, she is empty. Nothing in the mag well. And right now, sitting in the Glock 19 is the Agency Arms mid-barrel. And man, I just love that flush crown. I do really like the fluting on this thing. Not to mention Agency's awesome CNC work as always. And that's probably one of my favorite barrels out of these three. I really do like their top tier barrel. But man, that flush crown in the end is just super sick. So anyways, guys, this is the mid barrel. If you have not seen my last introduction video to these barrels, that is the mid barrel. This here is the standard barrel from Agency, which this particular standard barrel is indeed threaded. If you run suppressed, if you run a compensator, which also the mid comes in threaded as well as the top tier barrel here, you can get them in threaded. Just from what I have here, the standard is the only threaded barrel I have. So this guy right here, I've ran over 1,500 rounds through this since I've had it. This is Agency's highest offering barrel. They do really nice fluting on it. That little nut on the end kind of sticks out of your gun and looks pretty cool. I have a lot of pictures on Instagram if you guys want to go check that out. And their CNC work on this barrel is just absolutely amazing. Now it's really hard to get the lighting right because all of these barrels that I have here are kind of like blinging. They're either silver and they come out looking chrome in the light, or this titanium nitrided gold is really hard to get a good clean picture on. So what I want to talk about tonight, guys, are these barrels worth it? Will they make you a better shooter? There are a lot of misconceptions out there with the whole barrel upgrade thing when it comes to all these new barrels that are hitting the market, whether it's an Agency, a Blacklist, whatever the case may be. Some people don't seem to be comprehending the reasons why you would get it. I get a lot of guys that say, that's not going to make you a better shooter, or that's a big waste of money. And you know what? That's their opinion, and that's their thing. I'm not here to tell them or try to convince them of anything different than that. If they don't want a barrel or whatever part it may be, I'm not here to, make them do that. I'm just here to make myself happy, do what I like to do, what I enjoy to do, and show you guys some cool stuff along the way. So these barrels, like I mentioned, I have a little over 1,500 rounds through this one here. It has ran absolutely flawless. I love this thing. The wear on it is really nice. I get a lot of guys that ask me how this thing's been wearing in. And as you guys can see, I have cleaned it, I think, twice now since I've owned it in the 1,500 rounds. And overall, guys, the wear on it has been... I'm pretty shocked with how great the titanium nitride it has been wearing. I figured that it would be a lot more wore down than it is. So I decided to go ahead and show you guys. I just wipe it off here real quick. But the titanium nitride coating, guys, when I first had the option of getting one of these barrels from Mike at Tango Arms, titanium nitride was the only color he had in stock. And at first I was like, man, I don't know if that's something I want to buy. But now that I've got it, I'm pretty happy I did. And a lot of guys see it and they're like, why'd you get a gold barrel? And it's not that it's just gold. If that was the case, I definitely wouldn't have got it. It is titanium nitride is a coating that has a lot of really good lubricity properties, and the overall finish of it, if done right, wears very nicely. So in most Glock barrels, you will find stress marks up here, which you can still see a little imprint there. But guys, nothing like it has been on some of the stock barrels that I've ran in the past. Overall chamber of it, this section here usually gets wore pretty quickly, and it is still a little dirty, guys. I didn't get too down and dirty with it. There are a few spots right down here that have wore down to the metal, which, just a little tiny silver dot, which actually the recoil guide rod, recoil spring guide rod that was factory in my Gen 4 Glock got pretty bent up from using an aftermarket barrel, and from what I understand, that's fairly common. When you buy these barrels, guys, they are just made so much more in spec than your typical standard Glock barrel, and the lockup is a lot tighter, supported chambers, so they do put a little more wear on your recoil spring guide rod. But all in all, what I did was I ended up buying this stainless steel guide rod here, and I only did this. I just got this guide rod in a little over a week ago, and I've only put probably probably around 300 or 400 rounds through this guide rod so far. And my other guide rod that got bent up from the barrel, I ran that sucker over 1,300 rounds, no problem. And, while it was bent, and didn't have an issue whatsoever. It's just something that I was going to replace when I got time, and it just kept trucking. So that's nothing that I'd be too worried about as far as it putting your gun out of commission. But these barrels, guys, like I said, just such tighter dimensions versus your standard Glock barrels. And there's nothing wrong with a stock Glock barrel. And to be honest, guys, me personally, I will probably never, be able to outshoot a standard Glock barrel. So, is the barrel upgrade something that's going to make me personally a more accurate shooter? No, I don't think so. Honestly, unless you're getting this gun in a bench rest type situation, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of difference. Yes, there are competitive shooters out there that these barrel upgrades probably benefit a lot. But me, your everyday average shooter that likes to go out to the range every weekend, I carry a gun every day, it's probably not something that's going to help me drastically. So it's not going to help me as much as my Agency Arms trigger has. I really, really do love the flat face triggers, guys. And I can honestly tell you that this trigger has made me a better shooter. The overall reset of it, everything, the feel of it just really helps me with my follow-up shots. But that is besides the point. So a few reasons why you may want to get an aftermarket barrel. The main reason that you see out there right now, at least in the gun industry, early 2017, would probably be most guys want to get a threaded barrel to run a compensator, which honestly, guys, this barrel is also mine. The mid one here is actually Mike's for his personal agency from Tango Arms. But this one here is mine, this threaded standard, and then the titanium nitrided. So the only reason I got this threaded from Mike at Tango was I want to try out, a compensator. I've never ran a comp on a carry gun or a range gun or any pistol for that matter. So that's something that's really popular right now, and you see a lot of guys buying these threaded barrels. A few other reasons, which, some guys disagree with it, but some guys care about, they want their gun to look good, which I want my guns to look good too. What I say is, if it makes you happy, if it puts a smile on your face, it's money well spent, guys. So you get a lot of guys that, that's stupid, you don't need that, it's a waste of money. And in some people's eyes, yes, it is. But in other people's eyes, they want that. They like how it makes their gun look. I personally like that it does have a supported chamber. The lockup is a lot tighter. It just seems like it does have a little bit smoother when you actually rack the slide. I'm not sure if that's due to the actual lockup being a lot tighter. Your barrel's not wiggling around in there like your stock barrel does. And, is that a reason that you need to go spend $200 to $300? Probably not. The main reason why, when I seen these barrels, guys, I was like, man, those are just awesome. They're just really cool. It's one of those features that, it is debatable on if you personally should buy one, but that's completely up to you. It kind of falls into play with stippling your gun. You get a lot of people that want their gun stippled. Yes, it does improve my grip on my gun. Overall, I like to stipple my guns, but you get some guys that say it's stupid and they would never want it done. Well, that's the nice thing about us being able to make our own decisions. So, with these aftermarket barrels, guys, I think they are great. I think that especially now that Agency has a standard level for, the 170 price range, the mid-level coming in around 200, and then their top tier barrel coming in around 300, that just really, really makes it awesome for every shooter out there. At first when I seen the Agency barrels, I was like, man, $300. This barrel almost cost as much as a stock Glock. So that is a lot of money. Definitely not for everybody. But once you get into their mid-grade offerings and their standard barrels, that's something a little more affordable. It's something more practical for a, basic upgrade. So if you guys have any questions on these barrels, please let me know. I do plan to be doing some more accuracy testing. Like I said, in all these barrels here, I have well over 2,000 rounds through these 3 barrels, and I like them. There's nothing that I can find out about them that I dislike. I like how they look. I like how they feel in the gun. I like the lockup of them. So for me personally, I am really digging the barrels. And as far as these barrels go here, this barrel here from Agency, when it was made from an S3F Solutions blank. Agency no longer uses this S3F Solutions blanks. They go straight to Azimuth. I believe that's how it's pronounced, Azimuth. They are a machine shop that actually make these barrels, then send them out to Agency as well as Blacklist and probably a few others out there in the barrel game right now. And then these companies do their own machine work to them. So as for these Agency barrels, that's really all I could speak of. I don't own a Blacklist barrel, never had an S3F barrel. But as for these barrels, guys, I think they're a great upgrade for your gun. And if you have any further questions, please let me know. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, please sub to the channel if you haven't already, guys, and have a good night.